be sure to check out Rob Plays. There you can hang out with me while we play video games and talk about life stuff. So with Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes being introduced in this season's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., what I want to do here is have a discussion about the powers of the various Ghost Riders in Marvel Comics. And what I'm hoping is that by the end of all this, you'll be familiar with their powers and abilities, as well as the similarities and differences between each of them. Now, while Johnny Blaze is technically considered the second to use the Ghost Rider name in Marvel Comics, he and the subsequent Ghost Riders are so vastly different from the original Ghost Rider, Carter Slade, that for the purpose of this video, we're going to put Carter Slade aside and focus on those individuals who belong to the modern-day family of Ghost Riders, starting with Johnny Blaze himself. So while Johnny is an experienced stunt motorcyclist that belonged to a traveling stunt show with his adoptive parents, Crash and Mona Simpson, after learning that Crash had cancer, Johnny turned to the occult to try to find some spell that would cure his father. As a result, Johnny finds a spell that allows him to summon the demon lord Mephisto, who sells his soul in exchange for the cure to Crash's cancer. Now, while Johnny's soul would be saved by the proclamation of love from Crash and Mona's daughter, Roxanne, Mephisto was able to bond Johnny to the demon Zarathos, and as a result, Johnny would be forced to punish wicked people at Mephisto's command and would turn into Ghost Rider, a man with a flaming skull, whenever he was in the presence of evil. Now, in order to accomplish this task, Johnny gained a variety of powers that placed him among the most powerful figures on Earth. One of Johnny's most iconic powers is his ability to control Hellfire, a supernatural energy that burns the souls of its user's victim while also retaining the properties of regular fire. In addition to using Hellfire as a projectile weapon, in his early days as Ghost Rider, Johnny's motorcycle would become engulfed in Hellfire, but as his control over the abilities grew, he gained the ability to construct a bike entirely out of flame. In addition to traveling at extremely high speeds, Johnny's motorcycle is able to travel across water and up vertical surfaces. It's something to note here, however, is that Johnny's powers are not limited to his command of Hellfire. Instead, he also possesses several superhuman abilities, including agility, reflexes, speed, stamina, and most notably, super strength, as well as having the ability to lift 25 tons. Now, in addition to super strength, Ghost Rider is made even more formidable by the fact that he's virtually indestructible and is seemingly immune to attacks from any conventional weapons, as well as any spell meant to affect living persons. Now, in the rare case that Ghost Rider does sustain an injury, he possesses an advanced healing factor that's so powerful, it'll allow him to regenerate severed limbs. To this end, all of this makes Ghost Rider one of the most powerful and dangerous forces in the world, and in fact, in Ghost Rider number 13, a tie-in to the World War Hulk event, Dr. Strange posits that Ghost Rider's powers are nearly limitless, and are only constrained by Johnny Blaze's humanity. In addition to this, once Johnny Blaze lost control of the Ghost Rider, Dr. Strange explained that he would be able to go toe-to-toe with the Green Scar version of the Hulk, although he chose not to engage him in battle, since none of those he would be defending from the Hulk were innocent, and were therefore unworthy of his protection, a reference to the Illuminati sending the Hulk to a far-off planet against his will. Now, following Johnny's tenure as Ghost Rider after he captured Zarathos in the Crystal of Souls, a young man named Danny Ketch and his sister Barbara were attacked by gangsters who actually ended up killing Barbara. As a result, Danny carried her body to a nearby junkyard where he finds a motorcycle bearing a mysterious symbol. Now, when Danny touches the motorcycle, he's transformed into the Ghost Rider. Something to also note is that Danny possessed many of the same powers that Johnny Blaze had, including superhuman strength and control over Hellfire. However, during Danny's tenure as Ghost Rider under the writing of Howard Mackie, we see several new aspects of Ghost Rider's power manifested. One of the new additions to Ghost Rider's arsenal is Danny's weapon of choice, the Hellfire Chain. First seen in Ghost Rider Volume 3, Issue Number 1, Danny uses this ability to create and manipulate Hellfire to transform an ordinary chain into a weapon capable of great destruction. In addition to this, Danny's able to use the chain in a variety of ways, as it can transform into other weapons, can lengthen at will, and can separate into individual links that Danny uses as throwing stars. However, although Danny was the first Ghost Rider that we see use this weapon, after Johnny Blaze becomes Ghost Rider again in 2006 under the writing of Daniel Way, he also uses the chain as one of his primary weapons. The most significant addition to Ghost Rider's power set during Danny Ketch's tenure, however, is the Pennants Stare. First appearing in Marvel Holiday Special Number 1 in 1991, the Pennants Stare is an ability Ghost Rider uses to incapacitate his adversaries by locking eyes with them and peering into their souls. As a result, victims of the Pennants Stare are forced to experience all the pain they've ever caused anyone else as emotional pain. Although this is typically extremely effective, there have been instances when it's failed, such as when he used it on the Punisher, who felt nothing because of his lack of remorse for his transgression accusations against those he feels are deserving of his wrath, and Venom, who's incapable of feeling guilt. In addition to this, the Pennants stare has also proved ineffective on people who are blind or under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or if the victim has more than 2 eyes, preventing Ghost Rider from making direct eye contact with them. As a result, the Pennants stare has also been used by Johnny Blaze in his most recent time as Ghost Rider, although we see no evidence of him using it during his original tenure. Now moving on, the most recent incarnation of Ghost Rider and the one that will be appearing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is Robbie Reyes. Although Robbie shares several characteristics with Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, such as manifesting himself as a flaming skull and using a flaming chain as a weapon, he is fundamentally different in terms of the source of his powers. While Johnny and Danny are categorized as spirits of vengeance due to their vow to protect and avenge innocent victims due to their possession by either a demon, as in the case of Johnny Blaze, or the angel of death and judgment in the case of Danny Ketch, Robbie Reyes received his powers as a result of his possession by the spirit of a murderous uncle, Eli Morrow, who worked for the Russian mob and engaged in Satanism. For this reason, Robbie is not a true Ghost Rider, but was accepted into the Ghost Riders by Johnny Blaze. Now, like previous Ghost Riders, Robbie can use Hellfire as a weapon, although his control over it does not appear to be at the same level as his predecessors, and he has been known to accidentally cause objects to burst into flame during his transformation into Ghost Rider. At the same time, Robbie also shares a link to his car, the Hell Charger, which allows him to teleport to its location and merge with it, as well as use the trunk as a sort of teleporter through which he can move people and objects to any desired point. Something to also note here is that Robbie is capable of teleportation himself when in Ghost Rider form, although this is done through portals that he's opened and is not instantaneous. However, due to the limited number of appearances of Robbie Reyes since his debut in 2014, it's unclear at this time if Robbie will possess the ability to perform the Pennant Stare, though we have not seen any evidence that he can. Just as a side note, if you want to learn more about Robbie Reyes ahead of his television debut, you can check out my video on him for a complete explanation. But with that being said, this basically sums up the powers of each of the main Ghost Riders in the Marvel Universe, and so let me know down in the comments section which version of Ghost Rider you prefer, and whether or not you're looking forward to seeing Ghost Rider coming up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I will catch you guys later. Peace.